all dead. The final gunshot was an exclamation mark to everything that had led to this point. I released my finger from the trigger, and then it was over.
And they were all dead. This is the beginning of a short story about family murder, drugs, mafia, and corrupted police and politics. Max Payne was released in 2001 by the relatively unknown game studio Remedy and immediately hit the mark. Max Payne was highly prized by the gaming community and critics. The first thing, story, is absolutely amazing, and it is told with comic book style sequences that are almost everywhere. You are Max, an APD criminal investigator, happily married and with a newborn baby. You were living your American dream, but one day the dream turned into a nightmare. And at this point, the story begins. You went home after your work, but something is wrong. Then you hear screams, gunshots, and then you find your wife and even your little child dead. You have no idea why this happened, and you have to wait 3 years before you find any clues and the revenge can begin. You know that everything has something to do with the dangerous drugs work here, but you have to find and kill many mafia bosses to find the truth. And the truth is much worse than you think. And you are being chased by mobsters as well as the police. There are many plot twists, so you can never be sure who is your friend and who is your enemy. So the story is fantastic and you feel like you are playing a movie. Yes, there are some inconsistencies, but I like to forgive that. We had to wait many years before there were action games even with a better story. For example, Alan Wake, which was developed, yes, by Remedy. Another thing that relates to the story is the characters. They are not that deep, but they are fun. Why? Each character is represented by a real person, but not by real actors, because the budget of the game was not that high, so Max Payne has the face of Sam Lake, the game's writer. Although the game and Max's voices are serious, his facial expressions are, I don't know, really funny. The next game, Max Payne 2, is more serious and honestly, I prefer the first one because of the so-called actors. There are many mobsters and they are really crazy like Jack Lupino and cold like Angelo Punchinello. And there is really evil Nicole Horn. I love them all. The last minor character, who is one of the main protagonists in Max Payne 2, Mona Sachs. Honestly, if I was 10 years older 20 years ago, I would have really been in love with her.
Lisa Punchinello. Lisa Punchinello was the Don's wife.
Mona Sachs, Lisa's evil twin.
Your safety's off, evil twin. You might hurt someone with that gun of yours.
Lisa's the damsel in distress. I'm the professional. I'd blow you away without batting an eye.
Sure, and you can check out my credentials splattered all over this joint.
Jack couldn't have framed you, not the state he was in. We're after the same slime bag. Angelo Punchinello's the one who murdered your friend and framed you with it.
You know this for a fact.
I've got my sources.
I don't have a clue these days. I just shoot them as they come. Who put a contract on the Archfiend?
This one's mine. I hate the guts of that sadistic wife-beater. Why not pool our bullets for this one?
I thought you'd never ask. My finger was starting to twitch.
How do you like your whiskey?
I'm easy. As long as you don't try to slip me a Mickey.
You're a real angel, Max.
It was good stuff. Tasted sweet as honey going down.
Nothing personal. Can't risk you going berserk and getting Lisa killed.
Another thing is the gameplay, which is also excellent. It is a third-person shooter game, but the control of the game character is great. It is complete opposite of games like Tomb Raider or Croc, where you are sometimes so angry that your keyboard is actually in danger. Along with linear maps, no bugs and endless action with some puzzle solving, excellent story and characters, it is an almost flawless combination. There is just one thing that is very disappointing, and that is length of the game. You can beat the game in about 7 hours. There are 3 chapters with 9, 5 and 8 missions, and every chapter starts with a so-called prologues. In the first prologue, Mac's family was murdered. Other prologues are hallucination as you get the walking drug. You have to find your way through strange labyrinth and jump on the bloody platforms. It is a weaker part of the game, but on the other hand, it is a game changer and it is just a hallucination. There are many other locations and most of them are situated in the interiors, so you are going through a subway, apartment buildings and their roofs, hotel or rather a nightclub, an emo disco club, dogs, a ship, a burning restaurant, steelworks with a secret underground, and finally, you reach the high-tech skyscraper. Everything looks pretty similar, so the environment could be more varied. But I was still satisfied. That being said, the game is very linear and there is always just one way to reach your goal. Sometimes you unlock a door to the place where you have been before, so that's how you can get lost. Sometimes you need to solve a little puzzle. Well, finding a key is not a puzzle, but for example, you have to shoot the wood that prevents the truck from starting, which will then break through the road ahead. Or you have to shoot the switch behind the bars to open the door. There are only a few places you could get stuck. The game is not too difficult because you can use quick save everywhere you want, and honestly, it is really good to save the game very often because you can meet the death at every turn. The second thing that can help you, which is quite rare in gaming, is a bullet time. Do you remember Matrix? It was the turn of millennium phenomenon, and one of its important features was the slowing down time. And exactly the same feature is implemented in the game, the so-called bullet time. You can slow down time anywhere you want, so you can kill many enemies without getting hit. You can see a bar on the screen, and if it is empty, you are out of luck, so you can check it regularly if you have enough bullet time to pass more difficult passages of the game. The only way to recover your bullet time is to kill more enemies. So, if you can shoot and kill many enemies at once, you can use bullet time continuously. If you are a loser, the game could be much more difficult. And we should mention one more thing about bullet time. Well, it would be very difficult or even impossible to implement multiplayer with this feature, so multiplayer is missing. But I don't think that it is a downside because the developers could focus all their attention on the story, and that is great. And I think that most of game players play their multiplayer games like Counter-Strike, Quake or Unreal Tournament. So how about your enemies, their artificial intelligence and your weapons? In the beginning, your enemies are mostly gangsters and mobsters. I won't describe their weapons here because they are exactly the same as yours. And the second half of the game features mercenaries and agents. Sometimes you meet a boss that is like other enemies with much more health. The artificial intelligence is not high, so enemies either stay in position or go in the front of your gun barrel. But sometimes they hide behind obstacles, and agents occasionally make a fancy and even effective roll. Cool. And weapons, a lead pipe and a baseball bat are useless. The Beretta is also weak and even inaccurate, but you can use two Berettas each in one hand. The Desert Eagle is much better, especially at long distance. But for the first two chapters, Pump Action Shotgun will be your closest friend. Really, I haven't used the shotgun so much in any other game. Mostly not at all. It is powerful and holds up to 6 shots in the magazine. Ingram is an Uzi and you can use one in each hand. Very powerful, but you waste a lot of ammo that is quite rare. There is also a sniper rifle, but there are almost no exteriors. A Jagemer that is an automatic shotgun, M79 grenade launcher, and Colt Commando, an assault rifle that is extremely powerful and you hardly ever use anything else in the last chapter. But beware, your enemy also has this weapon. And finally, grenades and Molotov cocktail. The graphics are very nice for the time and you can see that in high resolution it is not a shame even nowadays. Models doesn't have a lot of polygons, but textures are nice. There are even nice metric effects when a bomb on the door detonates or sometimes when you kill an enemy. And music? There is not much music to listen to, but the damn song is really great and you will hear fast background noises during some of the action parts. Max Payne is widely regarded as the best game of 2001 and even one of the best game ever, so if you missed it, you should fix this deficiency. Well, it's time to sum up pros. The first thing is flawless gameplay, then the story and also the characters. And what are the cons? The game is quite linear and the game is very short. Thank you for watching the video. Next time we will look at something that is much newer and well known, Dark Souls. I don't think that I should introduce this cult game. Next review will be a little different and much more personal. It took me a while until I love it because the first several hours I really hate it. If you want to watch the review of your favorite game, please leave a comment below this video or on our Facebook page. And now we are preparing a special section for your reviews, so if you want to add your review on our YouTube channel, please send it to oldschoolgamesreviews@gmail.com, and if it is good, everyone can watch it soon. So bye and see you next time.